All right, welcome back, everybody. Trade the Matrix, Matrix Levels Plus. It is Wednesday, August 26th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a quick reminder, this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. That out of the way, let's jump right into today's video. SPX day trade plan. Basically, today was we were waiting for the data. I like to wait and see how the market reacts post data. And I do like to look at the economic data as a volatility event. So while we do know what our daily, weekly pivots, support and resistance are, obviously we're well aware. Uh, it is always wise to wait for the data. And today the core PCE came in slightly high above expectation. And we did get a little push up and then reverse. So today's plan was basically brought to you by the PCE volatility. Um, so you can see here we were tight. We were trading in a pretty tight range. Asian session into the London session, and we got a nice, kind of push up, kind of into the data, and then a reversal back down. So swing high here was going to be our resistance for the plan, and swing low here. You got some equal lows. So kind of nice little box here. About a 20-point range. I typically like a 30-point range, but I have to basically make the plan around what the market gives me. So so basically today's resistance level 7682.3, break above, and we could target the extension at 7694.4. Pivot was 7672.5, and support was 7662.6. Break below, target 7650. Let's see how that played out here. So 10-minute bars here. Let's just zoom into the 5-minute. You can see here, basically off the open, um, you know, we generally, you can trade the open. I do like to kind of put the blessing that, if you're going to trade the open, keep your trades real tight, scalp style, and be prepared to take profits quickly. Sometimes you do get a push up and then continuation, but more likely than not, you get you know some shakeouts. Basically, this morning, if you look at our first candle here, this is our first 5-minute candle here. It opened up at 7664.2, so it's above our support, and it did hit a high of 76.76.5, which would be above our pivot, and there was a low of 7664.2, and it closed at 7675.2. So the way that I'm analyzing this off the open is, we do close above our pivot level. First candle closes above. Second candle does dip back down to support here. Basically, when this candle is forming here and you're getting this wick, I'm thinking to yourself, okay, if this closes above, we get a retest. This is where I'm going to go long. I'm going to take this long here. If I'm targeting 10 points up here, I'm going to set my stop at 5 points down here. And I'm just going to let the trade take care of itself. And we do get a push right up into resistance. We do break out slightly. We didn't get right to our target here. We came up a little short, so you can kind of consider this a failed breakdown. You get a nice little 3-bar reversal here. Once we close back down below our resistance, you want to take this right back down into our pivot. This does break down. If you were going to try to short this down to our support level, no problem. You set your stop 5 points here. You get taken out here. Um, choppy session was expected here, and you can see, we were expecting, Nvidia after the close, expect chop until then, and that's what we got. We got a pretty choppy session, but there was some opportunity here. But this was essentially a fade the range kind of day, right? Fade 76.62 to 76.82, unless the volume confirms. And we kind of stayed in here and we're building compression. People were accumulating, I'm sure. We did get a push back down here. Here's a nice little, um, confluence here, kind of heading into lunch. I always throw a little disclaimer out there. Lunch is its own beast. It's usually, you know, even choppier. But today we did get a nice reverse inverted hammer here, rather. And then we do push right back down into our support level here. We get a impulsive move down. Everyone thinks this thing's going to hell in a handbasket. And then we do get a reversal here around 1 o'clock. We do get an inverse fair value gap here. So, on something like this, again, you're not really trying to chase this thing down during lunch. We have our own specific lunch setup, but um, the failed breakdown is my absolute favorite play. If you can get on the right side of it, because you usually get these elevator downs and then you get a reversal here and then the bears are trapped. Okay. So basically, if you get an inverse fair value gap, something like this, you long support and you just ride it back to pivot. You can see here after 1 o'clock, 1:15 here, we do reclaim the pivot here and we're just basically accumulating. And this thing does actually push right up back into our resistance level. It breaks out. And we came up a little short of our target, but nonetheless, 76.91. So pretty nice trade if you took it from the pivot and you held runners to try to get to our target there. You trail stop up here, and then you get basically taken out of it once this pushes back down. The only trade I actually took today, I took ES. I took a small scalp. Basically a mean reversion and then a bounce towards the end of the day. Um, so, you did get basically this thing at the end of the day kind of sells back down and um, it hits the pivot almost perfectly here. You're talking about 76, 72.5. So it actually did hit my exact pivot from this morning, which is not surprising at this point. This is something that we pretty much do on a daily basis. But anyway, hits our pivot and then bounces, and then obviously Nvidia earnings, and now you can see what's going on after hours. But really nice confluence. My favorite setup was probably this right here, 940. We do get a little bit of volatility, and we do get a nice, um, you know, 2 bars close above our pivot. Nice hammer, big tail. A lot of buyers pushing this back up, and then this little wick right here is your entry. Stop 5 points down below it, and then you can just take that right into resistance. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of go over today's action. It was, for a choppy session, there was some nice opportunities here, and I hope it was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.